everybody? It's Rachel. We're back here at PAX Prime, and I am with the legendary artist Dan Paladin, who brought us such things as the poop-propelled deer and the pooping bear. And oh my God, your art is iconic. And in Castle Crashers Remastered, we're going to get to look at it even prettier.
Yeah, so in that trailer, you can see there's higher quality poop. It's 5 times the texture size, twice the frame rates. So everything in the game's a lot smoother. It actually feels different. It's hard to explain it, but it really does. There's a new mini game in there. It's called Back Off Barbarian, and then there was a little bit of that. And it's sort of hard to explain, but you got to press the arrows in the way that you want to go. So if the road ahead of you is like down, left, up, down, you got to press those in order to get that way. And you're running from the barbarians and
like quick time events.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, and you're just trying to get around on the tiles that you want to go to. You can slam buttons and try to survive that way, but that doesn't work out so good. So everybody's just trying to survive together with some more co-op stuff. It'll be available on Xbox One at the end of summer, and it will be available later this year on Steam as well.
How did you guys decide to do that? I mean, it's an enormously popular game.
Yeah, well, I guess we were originally starting it because about a year ago, we were thinking, okay, so there's next gen. We're not on next gen. Why don't we do that? But while we bring it over, why don't we make it a little bit better? And you know, as a developer, something always haunts you about every game, and we were like, let's try and tweak some of those things. And we did. We tweaked the way people find each other. We tweaked a whole bunch of other smaller things along the way, and it'll feel a lot better for people.
I'm really excited to play that. That's always like a household favorite when you got a lot of people over. You play Castle Crashers. But you brought us another brand new game, too. So why don't we take a look at the trailer, and then we'll talk about that. It's Pit People. That looks insane. Okay, first of all, right away you can tell that's some of your art right there. You draw some crazy, trippy, and really immersive stuff. And this game looks totally different from Castle Crashers, which is really refreshing. So tell me about it.
So yeah, we always do a new genre. This time it's a bigger departure because it's a turn-based game, but we call it fast-paced, turn-based co-op adventure game because there's a lot to it. So you can play alone or you can play with a friend. And that's more of what we've been focusing on now because so basically the way it works is that you would have your team members and I would have my team members and we're the blue team and we would all make our decisions, lock in, and then now it's red team's turn to decide what they're going to do. And so if we're quick about it, all we have to worry about is where we want to put our guys and what that means for the strategy. There's no sort of minutia to it all. It's been streamlined to be able to do things quickly. So you just worry about what's in my guy's hands and where should I put him, and now what should I do, because there's a lot of chaos that happens in between. And we'll be adventuring all over the world map, looking for loot, doing quests, and we can go through the whole story. So you can play it here at PAX as well. You can go through the whole beginning of the game and see how...
It's hands-on here at PAX?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. We got 12 stations set up, so anybody who wants to come by and play, they can do that. You can see all the beginnings of the game and understand all the little mechanics within it. But the whole purpose of this one was to try and sort of... That genre is a little tough for some people to get into just because of the complexity. So we kind of brought it into more simple terms of what you have to think about you know, actually executing things.
Yeah, we have some of the game up here, and you know, I every time I see the hex grid, you know, like this is the game grid, it's a little intimidating,
it is.
Just like
it's
you
a scary
said.
Thing.
But this is adorable. This isn't intimidating at all. I mean, it looks so friendly and so fun.
Yeah, in terms of controls, it's fairly simple. All you got to do is press A to have someone go to that hex, and once you've pressed A enough times for all your guys to go where you want them to be, you just hold the execute button, which is Y, and then that's pretty much all you have to worry about, aside from team composition and you know whether or not we want to avoid the thing on the map or go to it. Here you can see one person's the lookout and the other person's the driver, so they each have to rely on each other's ability to do a good job with that. And
so that lookout was the guy moving the fog of war?
Yeah, and then the little steering wheel icons where the driver's going to go. And here purple is player 2 and blue is player 1. And you can see the red team's going, and then the blue team gets to decide, well, what are they going to do with their stuff? Mallets are good against helmets, and shields are good against arrows. And just once you have all those things mixed together, like that robot, he can chain electricity to people. So the more we're spaced apart, the more he'll punish us, whereas a pixie does these giant blasts. So if everybody's clumped together to avoid the robot, well, now the pixie can take advantage of that. So there's a lot of depth in terms of what you're thinking about, but there isn't much depth in terms of what you have to do in order to complete that. So that's kind of the angle we're trying. Is just about anybody can play the game and get somewhere with it. You can level up. You customize your guys back at the home. You can bring as many people as you want up to the limit or less. And there's units like that giant dude is worth 2 slots. So he takes up the space of 2 people, but he makes up for it with the strength.
So how am I going to build this army? Because it looks like blue has a lot of diversity. Red has kind of a lot of the same here. How did they end up that way?
Well, anything you see in the world, if you kill everything on that thing's team except for that thing, you can recruit it.
Okay. Okay.
So you take it home in a cage, and now it's been recruited, and it's on your side. And so you can build your team out with, you start with just, the main characters in a cupcake. And from there, you can build your team however you want. You can keep the same guys from the start and go through. But if you say, oh, look, that mushroom just farted on a whole bunch of people, I want that, you can get that guy.
I want that guy.
I really like the mushrooms personally.
He looks like a pretty chill guy. Who's your favorite guy?
I really like the mushroom, actually. He's usually my hero. So what you can do with your team is you can select a hero unit, and it boosts his stats, make him a little faster sometimes. And a hero mushroom is actually fairly terrifying. Some people do hero cupcake because he's a healer, and he's actually using his own health to heal others.
Oh, God.
So if he's a hero, he has more health, and he heals for more per hit. So you can say, okay, I'm going to have a cupcake healer hero, and then help everybody out a lot more. You can see Pipistrella in the middle there. She's bleeding, and he's healing her.
Get her cupcake?
Now she's not bloody anymore. So yeah, the cupcakes are really good, but you got to protect him. He's getting sort of run up on there.
So wait, why are they fighting though? Is this part of some terrible war? Is there a history?
Whole bunch. Yeah. So that giant bear that hit the earth.
Okay.
All the blood from the bear and the impact from the bear have some sort of properties that change the way we experience time, which is why the game's turn-based. And it has also opened up and mixed up everything we know, all space and time together. So there's vampires, and there's giants, and there's all kinds of weird things.
The bear really screwed us.
That's why they're all there, I guess. And if you take everything from space and time and you make it try and coexist, it doesn't go so well. So that's why they're fighting, I guess.
So are we going to be able to play this against each other? Is this going to be... You're going to have multiplayer in this?
You can do versus.
Tell me about it.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say, but there is...
Tell me everything.
So pit people, we call it that because they're born of the pit. Like there's these people who had these terrible times together, and they rebuild their lives that way by joining together in the pit and just making some money, making ends meet. But you can just do that the whole time. You and I can say, let's go fight people, let's go fight the computer, because if we don't want to do versus against others, and we could do 1v1, we could just mix it up in the arena however we want to do it. So you can do that straight in the city, or you can go outside the city, and there's just a billion ways to swing it, however you want to do it.
So what is it going to be like? Am I going to be able to build an army myself, and then when I team up with a friend, my whole army comes over and joins into their game? We can conquer together?
They're totally separate. So you could have yours, I have mine, and then I can just go, we can play solo, and then like later on merge them together, and just, we have the same set of guys, and they all just, they level up.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
So when do we get to play this game?
I don't know.
You don't know? You're just like, it would be a really great idea if we made this game, wouldn't it?
It's going really, really well, but since we make a different genre every time, it's hard to say just how much farther do you have to go, because we've never made a game like that before. But it's going really well. It's really solid, and we're all really proud of it. It's going to be on Xbox One and Steam, but I don't have a release date for either just yet.
That's just fine. You said is this available for a little hands-on play here?
Yeah, you can play it here at the show.
So you can have a sample of it here if you're at PAX. If you're not so lucky at PAX and you want to follow along as this game is made, if you want to keep track of it, maybe give some input, offer some lovely suggestions to the devs, which I'm sure you're always welcoming. Where can they do that?
Well, you can do it at the show, or you can hit us up on the Behemoth Twitter. You can tell us there, or our forums. There's a lot of places to get a line, I guess.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to show us these games. Dan Palin.